مساكين الحب and the فقراء وفقراء الود. Allah, Allah, Allah. Not wood, wood. In Arabic, wow, فقراء الود. These, the people of love. As in the words of Mutanabbi, he says, لو نلنا منك الود فالباقي هين وكل الذي فوق التراب تراب. Allah. He says, you know, if we attain your love, then the rest is nothing. We'll handle the rest, yeah. We'll handle it, man. He says, وَكُلُّ الَّذِي فَوْقَ التُّرَابِ تُرَابُ. He says, everything you see above the dust is in reality simply dust, because that's all it will ultimately be reduced to. Very profound poem by, I mean, in poetry, there's always wisdom. You can't go wrong if you're investing your time in poetry. Walker Robinson, it's been a long time, Mufti. Well, shukran for joining us. A few people from Pakistan here today. Sajjad saying we've got a few. Acha, well, marhaban. Marhaban, people, marhaban. What's that poem? وأيقنت أن الطرف قد قال مرحبا وأهلا وسهلا بالحبيب المتيم. What a poem. What a poem. That's a poem. We had, who was it? We didn't have his name at your service in the plight of love. That's a poem all about love. All about love, man, love. It's epic. It's a very from the early Islamic Iran. People ain't so sure some who they attribute it to. There's diverse opinions, but the poem is amazing. Some people attribute it to Yazid, but the poem itself is phenomenal. Phenomenal Arabic. Allah. Even that's one of the final lines, that وَأَيْقَنْتُ أَنَّ الطَّرْفَ قَدْ قَالَ مَرْحَبًا. He said that I was certain that her eyes said marhaban, that welcome, wa ahlan wa sahlan bil habib al mutayyami. And well, because the story that the poet kind of sketches is that he turns up and she's amongst her family, but she kind of sneakingly welcomes him with the eyes. But it's an epic. He has so much in there. You know, it's the one where he says, وَلَوْ قَبْلَ مَبْكَاهَا بَكَيْتُ صَبَابَةً لَكُنْتُ شَفِيتُ النَّفْسَ قَبْلَ التَّنَدُّمِ. That if only, because what he's saying at one point is he must obviously be, they must be separating, or he must have come to complain, or they must, but she starts crying. It's the emotion, man, the emotion. Bhavanai, the emotion take over. So she starts crying. And he says, that if only I had cried first. You see, that لو قبل مبكاها, before she had started to cry, that if only I had cried before then, I would have, had my heart's content. لكن بكت قبلي فهيج لي البكاء بكاها فقلت الفضل للمتقدم. Allah. He says, but she cried before me, and then her crying made me cry. Kya connection hai yaar? This is a connection. He says, so I had to admit that the credit goes to the one who got there first. فقلت الفضل للمتقدم. True, people, the one who gets there first. And it is in that poem he also has, you guys have reminded me now. Kya baat hai. He says he's kind of illustrating a description, and he's dividing that he's claiming that it's not fair, the relationship. So he says, look at what she gets and look at what I get. So he says, لها حكم لقمان وسورة يوسف ونغمة داوود وعفة مريم. Allah, look at all of these qualities, huh? Todos estas cualidades son para ellas. Well, I have to practice the Spanish, people. So all of these qualities are for her. He says, Laha hukmu Luqman, and she gets the judgment of Luqman, the wise in the Quran. Wa Surah to Yusufin, the beauty, the unimaginable beauty of Yusuf alayhi salam. She gets this form. Wa naghmatu Dawoodin, and the rhythm of the kind of rhythmic melody of Dawood alayhi salam. Wa iffatu Maryam, and the chastity of Maryam. So all these prophetic archetypal qualities she gets. And he says, Wali, and I get. Kya baat. He says, Wali huznu Yaqubin wa wahshatu Yunusin wa alamu Ayyuba wa hasratu Adam. He says, and what do I get? Wa cuales son para mí. What are these qualities for? He says, I get the sorrow of Yaqub, of Jacob. I get the loneliness of Yunus. I get the suffering of Ayyub, and I get the hasratu Adam, and I get the kind of sighs and the if only of Adam. Look at the division. Wow, what a poem, huh? What a poem. It's something a bit like that in Urdu once. A part of it that I heard once, where it says, Tere ishq mein e yaar humne kya kya na kiya. Tere ishq mein e yaar humne kya kya na kiya. Sabr Ayyub kiya, girya Yaqub kiya. Wow. He says, what did we not do in your love? We kind of had the patience of Ayyub and the crying of Yaqub. But yeah, that's poetry, people. Poetry.